Alright, so today, I figure this is about the halfway point in the build and the swap. So, got the garage cleaned up a little bit, so I figured I'd do some explaining and catching up on the information. Yeah, I guess. So, we'll be editing this out, but alright, so I guess we'll start with the mounts. Today, I guess the motor will come out for one of the last times, not the last, but it'll be out. Maybe I'll do another stop and explain. Like I said, I'm trying to document as much as I can. Like I said, I've never worked on camera before. This is a little weird. I mean, I worked in front of customers before and whatever, but so I'm trying to document as much as I can. I always wanted to do a build thread, and all right, so maybe I'll do this. I'll do a little bit of this now. So I wanted to, I think since I was maybe like 18, started building my first 240. 240 was my first car. So I started building those, and I always just wanted to do a build thread and stuff like that. Well, that was obviously back when forums and threads was popping. So not so much now. But so I always wanted to do a build thread. I mean, about 10 years later now, all the knowledge and all the other stuff, like I feel more comfortable about you looking at my work, but it's still a little weird for me. So that's the whole point of this. It's like I was doing the build anyway, and it was like just the thought came to me, like just tell somebody. Why not tell somebody? You've done enough of this little stuff without passing it on, without helping anybody else out. And I stay on old forums and threads that don't work, so why not bring it to the 21st century and help somebody else out? But all right, so let's get this motor back out. And yeah, I'll come back to that. I'll look back through and see if I have a picture of it or if part of it was in the recording, but I did put it on with the stock pulleys, stock setup. So AC, alternator, power steering, all in the original position. I got the motor with all the accessories. So I know in the Z32 and 240, you have to notch the frame rail to get those to fit, not in the G. So it fit, but the reason it was definitely tight. And custom AC lines, obviously, because AC compressor's on the left instead of on the passenger side of the car, passenger side of the motor instead of driver side of the motor like the stock VQ. But the reason I didn't even want to try to mess with the AC, even though I know I'm gonna regret it in a month. Yeah, it's May right now, so I'm gonna regret it in a month, definitely. My AC works. But the reason I decided to not even mess with custom lines is, hopefully you can hear it, but so no. Alright, so motor's back out. Now I can explain everything I had to do through this whole process. So it's been about, since we pulled the VQ, it's been about 2 weeks. So, I mean, I hope it makes sense, like the way this is cut together. Like, it's my first time, so bear with me. But I hope it makes sense as it's cut together. But my shaft is disconnected right now. But so yeah, this is the biggest fight, is because in that loop, that curve of the header, when it curves down, it's right here. So then the cat is back here, and the curve of that header, this comes right here. So this is as you can see, this is where the actual column rides. And you can see I just snipped that part of the shield and the bottom part where it connected, as you can see. And then there's the all of their, heat resistant material and all that stuff in there. But so that's the only part I did remove with the heat shield. Like, I knocked this out, it's tabbed all the way. I just folded these ones down. I actually could maybe cut more of it, but I want as much. We'll try to keep the heat out of the engine bay. It's already gonna be super tight. So many scratches, but it'll be so tight you won't ever see that. Well, you did now, but if you see it in person, nobody else will see that. If you don't see this video, you'll never see it. Okay, so all right, so I'm gonna get to the mounts. Oh no, okay, let me do sway bar first. So the sway bar is super thick on the G35 platform because there is no, obviously you can see there's no real type of a subframe or front structure. It's all that glass, fiberglass composite, whatever. So you have to make the sway bar this big to support all that stuff that you cut out. So massive sway bar mounts up here, like I was saying. This. Now, if you remember me trying to explain the banjo situation, that's super close, ain't it? So that was the problem. The VH pulley, actually hits, well, no, because if the banjo is up here, the pulley actually, this ain't gonna work. So I'm gonna try, because it's adjustable. Forgot my secret sticker. So this is the idea, right? Essentially mount in the same position. I mean, as we can see already, this trapezoid looking angle has more of a down curve to it, so hopefully the pulley itself will clear. I don't know if you can see it or not, but who knows. So I got my little weld station set up. That's just because MIG welding is so messy, like I was saying, and I just want to kind of keep it away from everything else. So can't do it on my wood table. I don't want to do it over there on all my blah 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 and get all my nice stuff dirty. So I have this little station set up. It might have cost me like 50 bucks at the most in parts and materials. But yeah, like I said, I just need the top. So it's my only GoPro, so you won't get the close-up. But I'll try to let you see me make these mounts and then talk about it. All right. Of course I fell out. But it's just to stiffen it to actually not have the whole strength or the whole weight of the motor sitting from like it's a solid plate, and that'll be solid. And then just having it rest its weight on these two canoes. So I wanted to just to give it some structural rigidity. Connect canoe to canoe, you know what I mean? Alright, so finally, let's weld these mounts. I had to let it cool down for a little bit. Let's finish up. I'm really not super happy with how it's coming out. But it's like as I'm going, I can see like it's coming back to me, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember how to do that. And yeah, as a technician, I mean, I'll weld the exhaust every once in a while, but that's about it. So, like, actually doing these mounts, I like it. It's bringing me back. But yeah, so I can see. Like I can tell which was the first one, and then I get warmed up, and then it starts coming back, and then it starts flowing right. So more for structure, not gonna be pretty. Guess I'm still getting used to this as it goes. So the last video left off where camera cut off where I was cleaning up the mounts. I just finished them up. So I'll show you those in a second. Not my best work, but you'll still get to see them, unfortunately. So I'll show you those before I paint them. So definitely not my best work. So the deal with doing using your little Chicago Electric flux core. So the shielding gas is in the actual wire. which means that you have to, so you're not using the tank with like argon, so you're using the actual cord itself, the metal, so you have to be close enough that when the cord heats up and melts, the actual shielding gas in it is close enough to shield the metal, blah, blah, blah. So, structural, not pretty. I want to do it again, but it's the only set. All right, so as you can see, they're still bolted together just because I let them cool down. But, so this is I'm definitely not happy. I'm definitely not happy with the penetration level, but that's probably more, that's more me than the actual machine, because it can do about 90 amps, maybe. Is it 90 or 110? I don't even remember, but it's been a while. It's been a while since I welded something, you know, that actually had to be a serious weld, like MIG welding exhaust pipes is. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but it's not that hard. But so yeah, I'm a little disappointed in these mounts, but it'll work, and I'll show you the best one. The one that I'm actually happiest about. I guess it was probably closer to the end, where it was more, I was more in my groove, and then this one ended up just being the spacing was right, and heat check. So that's the nicest one, but I mean, it's structural for the most part. But so this is what I meant about connecting the two canoes together. I had to add this little plate in here. I just wanted to, just because, as you can see, that's all that would have been supporting the weight of the motor. Would have been the motor on top of these two canoes pushing down, just sitting on this plate. So I wanted to add this in, at least connect them together and give it. So now I have this whole more of a U shape carrying the weight than whatever. So I guess you can see I have some. So you can see I have some fittings that I already went through. I'm still waiting on the ones for the fuel pumps, and not the ones for the fuel pumps. Got that. So I'm still waiting for the fuel line fittings and stuff like that, but I still have oil and power steering. So I guess I'll get into that today, and I think I'll try a different angle today. I'm just figuring out what works with the camera, so we'll see.